It's no secret that Microsoft wants us to sign in with a Microsoft account on Windows. And they've made it increasingly more difficult with the last versions of Windows 11 they've released to bypass the forced Microsoft account creation during the Windows 11 setup process. Now, with Windows 11 25H2 that's going to be released later this year, I've seen some info online saying that we won't be able to bypass the forced Microsoft account creation during the setup process anymore, at least on the home version of Windows 11 25H2. And I wanted to test this out for myself. Now, I've just done a quick install of Windows here. So now here we need to sign in with a Microsoft account. And this is exactly what we want to skip. Now, the very first thing here is people are saying that if you press Shift and F10 or Shift and the function key and F10 if you're using a laptop, it doesn't open the command prompt anymore. And that this is either a bug or that Microsoft deliberately did this to stop us from creating a local account. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press Shift and F10 and see if it works. And it is still working. Now, you might be wondering, what version is this? If I type winver and run that command, here I can clearly show you that this is version 25H2 and this is the build that is running, and this is also Windows 11 Home, the insider preview. Now, there were two methods to bypass the forced Microsoft account creation that we've been using. One of them requires you to disconnect from the internet and to also restart your computer before it's going to work. The other one does not require any of that, and you can just use it and create a local account. Now, I'm going to be testing both of these, but I'm going to be saving the best for last. So let's start with the first method. What you'll need to do is first bring up the command prompt window like I have here, and I'll close that during the setup here and press Shift and F10 again. And as you can see, it still works. So I don't think that Microsoft is trying to block us from using the command prompt during the onboarding experience. Now, what you want to type next here is regedit. So you can open the registry editor. So just press enter to run that command, and then you'll have the registry editor open. Now you need to navigate to the following path. So it's going to be HKey local machine, then software, then Microsoft. Then you want to scroll all the way down until you find Windows. Double click on that, then open current version, and then inside of here, you'll have the OOBE folder. Now, right here, you need to right click on an empty white space, select new DWORD 32-bit value, and then type bypass NRO and press enter. Next, double click on this entry to open it and change the value data to 1 and click on OK. Now, what you need to do is disconnect from the internet. So I'm doing this in a virtual machine. So I'm just going to go into the settings and I'm just going to disconnect the internet so that when I restart it, it's not going to automatically connect to the internet. Then to restart your computer, you can type this command, which is shutdown space /R for restart, then space /T for the time in seconds, and then you enter 1 for 1 second. So if I press enter and I run that command, it's immediately going to restart the computer. And remember, it's going to be disconnected from the internet when we get back. So for you, that might look different. You might need to either unplug your Ethernet cable. You might need to disconnect from the Wi-Fi entirely, switch off your Wi-Fi if you're using a laptop, or put it on airplane mode. But you need to do everything you can so that the computer doesn't know about an internet connection. So once your computer restarts, it's going to go through the same setup process again, because remember, we haven't created a user account yet. So I'm just going to skip the setup here and choose a keyboard layout once again and continue with that. And now you'll see it says that I'm not connected to the internet and it needs to connect to a network. But we have this option here that says I don't have internet. And that's exactly what we did when we created the registry entry. We gave ourselves this option. Now, this is exactly the same thing that Rufus uses when you burn your Windows 11 ISO file to a USB flash drive and you select the option to remove the requirement for a Microsoft account. This is exactly the same thing that Rufus does. So to continue from here, you just click on I don't have internet. It's going to load the next part of the setup, which is how do you want to sign in to your computer? So just enter your username, enter a password if you want. You can also leave it blank if you don't want to use a password, and then just choose your privacy settings like you would always do when you go through the setup here. Once you accept that, it's going to load into your user and it's going to be a local account on Windows 11 25H2. So now if I go ahead and open the settings here, you'll see that this is a local account. And if I go to System and we go to the About page, you can see that this is still Windows 11 Home Insider Preview version 25H2. And if this works on the Home edition of Windows 11, then it will most certainly work on the Pro edition of Windows 2. So that covers the first method. But like I said, I'm saving the best for last. So let me show you the second method, which isn't only better, but it's also much easier to use for you to get to sign in with a local account on Windows 11 25H2. Okay, so we're back on a new virtual machine and we're forced to sign in with a Microsoft account once again. Now, first things first, let's press Shift and F10 once again. And you can see that it still opens the command prompt window. Once again, let me show you the Windows version I'm working with here. This is still Windows 11 Home Insider Preview and it is version 25H2. Now, as promised, let me show you the best and most easy way to create a local account during the setup process of Windows 11. And like I said before, you can still be connected to the internet when you're doing this. I can show you that this virtual machine here is still connected to the internet, and the method I'm about to show you works even if you're still connected to the internet. So the command you're going to type is start space ms-cxh and then colon and then the word local only. If I run this command, you'll see it opens a window where we can create a new user for this PC. Now it does say Microsoft account, but it's not going to create a Microsoft account. This is going to create a local account. So I'm just going to enter memory as the username. I'm not going to enter a password. You can if you want to, but I'm just going to click on next. And the best part about this command is we've just skipped all of those other setup screens that Microsoft usually gives during the onboarding phase. The exception to this will be the privacy settings screen because Microsoft has to show you this, but I'm just going to disable all of those sliders. Now, once again, let's just go to settings and let me show you that this is also a local account that we just created, as you can see up there. And then also if we go to System, and we go to the About page, this is still Windows 11 Home Insider Preview version 25H2, and this forced Microsoft account bypass method still works. Now you might be thinking or wondering, why am I making such a big deal about this and where is this actually useful? I've seen a lot of comments on similar videos where people say that you should just use Rufus to write your Windows installation media and then you don't have to deal with all of this. But the thing is, if you buy a new laptop and you just unbox that laptop, then you don't necessarily want to reinstall Windows from a USB flash drive. You just want to start and get it set up with a local account with the Windows that's already installed on that laptop. And in that case, the methods I showed you in this video will work, and specifically the second one will be the best one for you to use. So I hope this video was useful for someone. If it was, please give it a like and consider subscribing to the channel because it lets me know that you like this type of content. And if you want to watch more, you can check out this video right here. And as always, I just want to give a special shout out to all of my YouTube members. Thanks so much for your support. I really appreciate it. And I'll talk to all of you guys soon.